The smog certainly will. But if I took that same individual and I put him on the 107th floor of the World Trade Center and I let him or her peer out, they might say, man, look at Boston, it looks so close I can touch it. And the Statue of Liberty is so close I can hug it. And that can't be Washington, D.C. I see, what is the difference in the individual? Nothing. But they raise their level of vision. As Booker T. Washington said years ago, start where you are with what you have, knowing that what you have is plenty enough. And as a people, that's all life is about. We must begin to raise our level of vision. Don't see things as they are, see things as they can become, because really that's what wealth is. Wealth is not what you have, it's what you look forward to.
I like that. You know, you're talking, most of your books you've interviewed so many people. Let's talk about you. Have there been certain experiences that you've gone through? You talked about your mother, and you have a little bit about that in the book here. Any other particular situations that you've been through that just said, okay, I've got to deal with this?
Oh, I mean, the ordeal that I was going through to write my first book. Just a quick story. We were about to lose our house. 5 months behind, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my wife and my mother. My wife worked a number of thankless jobs, and we're both college graduates. She was the one, the impetus that really said, keep going. She was the one that told me, hey, go get the interview. Somehow, some way, the money will come. And this became a full-time project. I mean, you couldn't send out a request for an interview. You know, Mr. Johnson of Ebony Magazine, can I interview you? Sure. Well, when can I interview you? Tomorrow. Well, you can't tell him, well, I got a sales meeting tomorrow. I got to be with my boss tomorrow. He tells you now, you got to run with it. So for 7 years, of this 10-year ordeal, this was my job. This is what I was doing. So we were 5 months behind in our in our mortgage, and we just resolved and inclined that we were going to lose the house. It's just one of the things that we were going to go through. Well, Vicki, a number of months ago, it was almost like 20 months ago, that I wrote an article for a magazine that is now defunct. And it was a feature article, and it was a 3-part article over 3 different issues. And I forgot that they didn't pay me, and it was in excess of $2,000. And the people from the mortgage company came out, they took pictures of the home. They were about to put the lock on the door. So my wife was up in the bedroom crying, and she saw where the mailman just came. And I said, Pat, you stay here. I'll go see if we got any mail. And I went to the mailbox, and I reached in there, and sure enough, it was that check for $2,000 that we forgot about almost 2 years ago, and we almost fainted. And it was, our mortgage was almost, we promptly sent it to the mortgage company and just kept us going.
Oh, wow.
The Bible says it came to pass, not it came to stay. Ephesians 6:9, having done all things, stand. And, put on your armor, and I guess we lived out the passages in the Bible, living proof that God talks to us through our lives.
The things that you're talking about is so synonymous with those things that we read in the Word of God, and even with the faith. You have to put it into action.
The Bible is a very old book, but it's still right on time.
Oh,
I don't care if you take all 40, all 40 authors, all 66 chapters. And if I had a glass of water, Vicki, and I took that glass of water into a chemistry class, and I wanted to assay it down to its finest components, what do I get? I get 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. If I took the Bible into that same chemistry class, all 40 authors, all 66 chapters, and I assayed it down to its finest components, what do I get? I get 2 things. Number 1, be not afraid. In other words, believe. And number 2, the keynote of harmony. You got to have faith. It's all about faith and hope. That's why we are here, to forsake today for tomorrow. And if we would just apply that in our life, and particularly if we could just get black males to apply that in their lives, there isn't anything that we can't have, do, or become. Right now we have a whole faction, 35 million African Americans strong, but there's only one faction of our race that bothers to read, and that's black females.
Oh, yeah.
Black females and brothers who are incarcerated in prison. There's not a week or a month that goes by that I don't get a letter from some young black male who's in prison. My oldest daughter got married last week. We fly back from Oklahoma. We get the mail. Sure enough, I get a request from a young black male who's in prison that wants what makes a great. You know, he's in out there in California. What's the prison out there in California?
What did I tell you about my age? It like leaves me. What's the name of that? I don't know. Whatever it is out there.
It'll come to me.
You know, come on now. We're working on the same age here.
But if we can just get, you know, as a race, if we can just believe, if we can just keep our communities and our homes together, if black men would unite with black women, I mean, the highest form of manhood is marriage. If we can just do that, if we can pass that baton on to the next generation, this ball game is over.
I like it, and this ball game is not going to be over because we'll be back in just a moment.
Thank you for watching us here on Open Window, a program designed to enlighten and embrace the community and the world around us. We here on Open Window would like to take this opportunity to reach out to you, our viewers, for support so that we will continue to bring you delightful and quality programming. You may make your tax-free contributions or donations to the name and address shown on your screen.
Open Window.
Welcome back to Open Window. Our guest today is Dr. Dennis Kimbro. Dr. Kimbro has been giving us some motivational things here. Just like inspiring me to make a change, to make a decision. And I've talked about this a little bit before with another guest that I have, but you know what? You're right on time. I believe that the Maker sends folk in my path that I need, because I need to make a decision, and just listening to you today.
Well, from where I can see it, you're doing fine all right now. I don't know if you need me. Don't let me confuse you. You just keep doing what you're doing.
I've got to make a decision about something, and I think part of it has been that fear that we've talked about earlier. And I need to get over that.
Again,
and
false education appearing real. See with your mind's eye, because your physical eye 9 times out of 10 will lie to you.
Let's talk a little bit more about your book here. I like this. I like the third book here, Daily Motivations for African American Success, okay, including inspirations from famous African American achievers. Let me just open it up to something here now.
Open it up to any page.
What about pour me a cup? Each one of the pages in this book has a title and a story behind it. Okay, pour me a cup.
Who is the quote from?
I can't see it. You'd read it.
Okay. We deserve everything we can get. We spilled the blood, we shed the tears. No one has given more than us, and now it's payback time. Well, when I'm talking about payback time, you know, it's about paying yourself. Many times we look for reparations, we look for somebody else to pay us back for a hurt, you know, somebody has wronged us in life. But it starts with you. It starts with you. And how is payback time? Forgiving. And what is forgiving? It's giving for.
Yeah.
You know, so many people hold on to a
Yeah.
grudge. So many people. Well, what is that? That's cancer.
It
you know,
is.
that's you know
Yeah.
that will eat you up. That's an
Right.
ulcer. It's something that's
Yeah.
going to drive you. All right. So you've been hurt 20 years ago. So your daddy and mama
So
didn't
what?
get along, and they left home. Well, sometimes your father's father. Maybe your father didn't have a father at home. But how long are you going to cry? I mean, you can only cry for so long. It's time to pick up your bed and go walk. So pour me a cup.
Forgetting those things which are behind.
Yeah, and what is a cup of coffee? It energizes you. You know, as soon as you forget it, hey man, that's in the past. I'm moving on with my life. You're energized to go ahead and experience life, and particularly live life in the moment instead of thinking about those things in the past.
I like that. And you know, we talked about the book, and some of your principles that you talk about. And when I said forgetting those things which are behind, which Paul talked about.
And running the race.
And look, and pressing toward the mark. We need to forget some of those things that happened 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that's hindering us from making progress.
Yeah, the Bible is written as in an allegorical type language. You know, suppose, you know, the Creator taps you on the shoulder, Vicki, and he says, we want you to be one of the contributors, one of the authors to the greatest book that's ever written. And we're not sliding other books. I mean, you can get so much food from the Quran, you can get so much food from the Talmud. I mean, any book that inspires you, you know, to take action. But you brought up the subject of the Bible, and suppose the Creator tapped you on your shoulder and wanted you to be a contributor. Well, suppose you were a physics teacher, and that's the only language you know how to speak. You know, E equals MC squared, you know, the time of the moment elements, and you wrote like that, only very few people would understand it.
Right.
Suppose you were a high school football coach, And here you are, contributed to this book, and you write in a language of 42 XYZ on 3 when you get to the line of scrimmage, check with me. Well, only those people who are privy to sports, and particularly
Right.
football, will be able to understand it. But the Bible is written in allegorical type language. It's a story. So no matter where you are in your personal development, it's right on time.
Right.
No matter where you are, you could be on your way to making your fourth or fifth million, or you could be a poor woman living in public housing who can't find 2 nickels to rub together. No matter who you are, I believe he's speaking to me. And that's what people love about it.
And that's what people love about your books too, because you cite experiences from people who have gone through certain things. Let's talk about one or two in particular. Can you think of something in one of these books?
Yeah. I remember when I sat with Janetta Cole, past president of Spelman College, and I don't know how many hours I sat with her, and tape recorder's going, I'm taking notes. I mean, here, she's talking about me being an open book. I mean, we will never be able to tap into all the wisdom that
Wonderful
she has.
woman.
But in all the time that I spoke with her, she said one sentence, and I've only used that sentence in my book. And the sentence is, show me somebody content with mediocrity, and I'll show you somebody destined to fail. Now, you don't need to know where Janetta Cole, went to undergrad. You don't know where she got her PhD. You don't need to know anything about her biography except that one sentence that says it all. She had a fancy dinner over at Spelman College for her board of trustees. It was really a nice affair. She had waiters came through with doily line trays with hors d'oeuvres. They had their tuxedo jackets on. Now her trustees, I mean, these are people very prominent throughout the community, throughout the nation. They sat at the head table. These are real hoity-toity type people. And I saw Janetta Cole do this. She had a local pastor come in to bless the food, and they were about to eat the prime rib, and Janetta Cole stood up and she says, wait a minute, something's wrong with this picture. No one move. And she went back in the kitchen and she brings out this poor black woman. She's about 70 years old. She had on a white apron stained with brown grease and flour. And she says, I want everybody in this dinner to know this is the woman that prepared your food. And this little black woman, her self-image was so low, she couldn't even make eye contact with Dr. Cole, and she went just like this. God bless you, Miss Janetta. See, that says it all. And that's probably the one thing that really, really stuck out in my mind about Janetta Cole making a difference in our community.
What makes the great great? I love it. And I want you to stay tuned for more of Open Window.
Thank you for watching us here on Open Window, a program designed to enlighten and embrace the community and the world around us. We here on Open Window would like to take this opportunity to reach out to you, our viewers, for support so that we will continue to bring you delightful and quality programming. You may make your tax-free contributions or donations to the name and address shown on your screen.
Open window.
Hi, this is Open Window, and welcome back to our show. Dr. Kimbro has been here with us today, and he's been talking about the 3 books that he's written. The first one being, okay, let me get them right, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, What Makes the Great Great, and the last one here, Daily Motivations for African American Success. All of them great books. You've got something in the works. Let's talk briefly about that before we go away.
Oh, by far my most important, and near and dear to my heart, I think my greatest book. It's entitled Wisdom of the Ages.
Wisdom of the Ages.
7 Spiritual Keys for Leading an Inspired Life. Vicki, I asked 1,000 black grandmothers if you could write one letter to your children or to your children's children, what would you tell them about life? And so it's not a compilation of letters where you turn a page, read a letter, there's plenty of letters in there that you will read as they were sent to me. But when I received all these letters, I found that they fit nicely into 7 different categories. So I call them 7 spiritual keys for leading an inspired life. One is hope. The first one is living today as if it's your last. Another letter or chapter, as I call them, is, count your blessings. Can we say grace? Believe it or not, you wouldn't believe all the letters that these black women sent to me on manhood. What it takes to be a man, what it takes to make a man. Evidently, they wrote these letters to their sons and their grandsons, hoping that, they would make a difference and live up, to those values.
Can you share a little teensy-weensy bit of some of them? Just a teensy-weensy bit.
The sayings that they have are just remarkable sayings. For those women out there in our community who are busy, career-oriented women, one grandmother wrote me a letter, and the saying that she had in there, Lord, child, you are so busy, the Lord's got to tap you. No, child, you are so busy, the Lord's got to track you down just to give you your blessing. Another saying that they had, and talking about being faithful to your wives. One of the grandmothers said, men who look at other women who are married, if you don't look once, you're not a man. But if you look twice, you're not a man of God.
I like that. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
so
yeah.
many countless things on sayings on really how to
And
live your life.
A great group of people to ask,
without a
because
doubt.
the wisdom is there.
The wisdom is there, and all I said, don't take it to the grave with you. And so the last but not least is prayer. And like I said, this book is near and dear to my heart, and I expect to finish it this year.
This year. So we'll be
So
looking
if there's
for.
grandmothers out there that want to send me letters, please send them to me.
Send them to you.
Every
Okay.
grandmother that sends me a letter, their name will be acknowledged.
And you're requesting what again?
If you could write one letter to your children or to your children's children, what would you tell them about life?
One letter to your children or your children's children. What will you tell them about life?
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Okay. All right. We're looking forward to that book coming out.
Thank you very much.
You know what? You do a lot of speaking engagements around the country, and I think at the beginning. Oh, by the way, let's go back, because you mentioned a prison in California.
Yeah.
We thought of it, San Quentin.
Yeah.
See, we're on the same wavelength as far as age is concerned. So we finally got that. But anyway, you do a lot of speaking around the country, and you do a lot of speaking to young people, and I like that, because they need a vision too.
Oh, so
They
desperately.
definitely need a vision. Let's talk about young people right now.
It's critical, and particularly in the black community, we are 35 million strong individuals. But when you look at the data, I mean, this is what really hurts. You have 35 million African Americans, Vicki, and only 19,000 black doctors, only 24,000 black lawyers, only 45,000 CPAs/accountants, only 60,000 black engineers. You have 35 million African Americans and only 375,000 black school teachers. I mean, if we tripled those numbers, it wouldn't be enough. So, all I try to do is just tell these young kids, stories about men and women who I interviewed that they can relate to, and about really getting on and making a difference in their life. So you want to be a doctor, so you want to be a nurse. Well, here, maybe I can help you. Here's a story of an individual who came from similar circumstances as your own. This is how he or she overcame those odds in order to hit their dream and reach their goals.
I like that, because you talked about it in another segment that we did, dreamers and non-dreamers. And so many of them are non-dreamers.
And you can tell when you're around a non-dreamer, because they will try to steal your dream. Oh, you can't do that.